Hi, good afternoon. Welcome to the marketplace. Coming up, fears of looming fuel shortage as a strike by tanker drivers across the country enters day 2.
OMC transporters are threatening to send them to court. One group of people to come out and say they are threatening us. Fine. You can threaten us, but we won't go to work.
Also coming up, cedi depreciation and high inflation set to dominate discussions as Monetary Policy Committee of the Bank of Ghana begins meeting to review the economy. Plus, German government partners local government company to create about 2,000 jobs.
The industry don't have technical knowledge people. So now we are going to we are going to get a lot of training in it. So if somebody wants to open the factory, it will be easier for the person.
My name is Darryl Kwao. Thanks for being with us. Details coming up. All right, first up this afternoon, there are fears of fuel shortages as the strike by tanker drivers across the country enters day 2. Members of the Ghana National Petroleum Tanker Drivers Union have declared an indefinite strike demanding the approval of a policy framework to improve their conditions of service. The union, with a membership of more than 10,000 across the country, says government through the Energy Ministry and the National Petroleum Authority has failed to address their concerns. Chairman of the Ghana National Petroleum Tanker Drivers Union, George Nyaonu, has been speaking at a briefing at Tema. Correspondent Kwame Yanka has more.
2017, these aggrieved tanker drivers have been knocking on the doors of government to have their concerns heard and addressed. Having met President Akufo-Addo on their conditions of service in August 2017, he directed Energy Minister at the time, Boakye Jakun, and Chief Executive Officer of National Petroleum Authority, Hassan Tampuli, to resolve the drivers' concerns. Upon assuming office as Energy Minister, John Peter Mewu, through an emergency stakeholder meeting, proposed setting aside a margin allocated to transporters within the Unified Petroleum Price Fund, but NPA could not remunerate the drivers as agreed. Chair of the Ghana National Petroleum Tanker Drivers Union, George Nyaonu, says, having threatened strike in 2023, Energy Minister Dr. Matthew Opoku-Prempeh and Chief Executive Officer of NPA, Dr. Mustafa Abdul Hamid, set up a committee, but the outcome has been nothing different.
We would like to take this opportunity to emphasize that this action of our drivers is driving our desire to protect Ghana investment and jobs. And it's our wish there will be an amicable resolution to assuage our concerns. Therefore, the 2 weeks ultimatum given has elapsed. As we speak now, we are in 3rd week. Ladies and gentlemen, tanker drivers cannot wait any further. Therefore, from today, we are putting our tools down until NPA board approve the implementation of the framework.
Georgianu shares how Association of Oil Marketing Companies has become a stumbling block in the implementation of the adopted framework.
However, despite the concerted efforts and patience of our members, the implementation hit a snag and assumption of office of the new board of the OMC. The new leadership of the association stated at a meeting that their representatives on the committee did not have authority to agree with the conditions of service for the framework, a position we find untenable. This move by OMCs came as a surprise to our members and other stakeholders.
Meanwhile, Vice Chair of the Ghana National Petroleum Tanker Drivers Union, Sunday Alabi, says their actions could have a significant impact on the country's economy.
So if we should lay down our tools for even 2 days, even today that we are not working, we know how much revenue the government is supposed to generate today. So if they should allow this thing continue for 3, 4 or 1 week, it will bring a serious hardship to the economy of Ghana. So we are pleading to the government to forcefully make sure that the board signs or approves this framework. That's what we are pleading the government to do, because it will cause serious damage to the economy of Ghana. Petroleum means petroleum, gas, RFO, aviation, everything, every petroleum product. Nobody is lifting until we see that the board of MPA approves this framework.
For members of the union, no amount of words will get them back to work, except concrete action by government. Kwame Yankes reports for Joy Business.
While members of the Ghana National Petroleum Tanker Drivers Union in the Ashanti region have also put the activities on hold to demand improved conditions of service, the union declared an indefinite sit-down strike from May 21, that was yesterday, demanding the National Petroleum Authority formalizes an agreement regarding their compensation packages. Members are mounting pressure on the government and the MPA to address the long-standing salary issues. Here's more.
The long-standing demand for approval of the wage enhancement policy framework by the tanker drivers continued to elude the NPA board since November 2023. The dissatisfied tanker drivers have voiced their concern over the delay in approving the proposed framework, leading to the declaration of a sit-down strike. According to the union, despite a numerous attempts to secure its approval, the board remains hesitant to make a decision, much to the disappointment of the drivers. Sampia Edmond Baba is chairman of the union.
We've been waiting all this while just because of 1 or 2 administrative bottlenecks that has been created by some particular OMCs. We have some OMCs who are transporters and oil marketing companies at the same time, and so they have their own drivers too. Now, I don't know what is actually happening. In the normal circumstances, it is the MPA board that is supposed to sign that document so that it will start off. But because of this, what do we call it, skirmishes between those OMCs and the MPA, the whole thing has not been able to materialize. We've waited, we've been to meetings upon meetings with them on several occasions. We've written letters. As I talked to you, I've got some letters on this phone. We wrote so many letters. I think last month we wrote a letter to the presidency, and later on we wrote another letter to the various stakeholders. But up to now, we've not heard anything. And I think last 2 weeks we gave them an ultimatum that if by the end of that 2 weeks they don't do it, they don't start, we'll go on strike. That is why we are now here.
He says the union is unwilling to call off the strike until the said agreement is endorsed by the NPA.
we are talking about the NPA board not signing the document so that it will kickstart. That is where the whole thing, where the government comes in here. But in actual fact, the NPA board, according to what we have also heard, is that some OMC transporters are threatening to send them to court. One group of people to come out and say they are threatening us. Fine. You can threaten us, but we won't also go to work.
Some drivers also shared their dissatisfaction with the NPA. We also need the payment of our salaries through the bank. We need to get access to loans.
The said agreement with the National Petroleum Authority started somewhere 2017. For the tanker drivers, the government is refusing to endorse the agreement they had, which had to start in November last year. Until the agreement has been endorsed by government and the National Petroleum Authority, the tanker drivers are threatening not to resume work. For Joy News, my name is Dana Boachi Dankwa Yadom, Kase.
All right, we'll keep following the tanker drivers strike for you, but away from that, the city depreciation and high inflation level are set to dominate discussions as the Monetary Policy Committee of the Bank of Ghana begins its meetings today. The meetings will result in the determination of a policy rate. Here's more in this report.
For some, the work of the Monetary Policy Committee is cut out for them when they begin meeting later this morning. That is what additional monetary measures should introduce if they intend to deal with the current pressure on the Ghana cedi. Is the current pressure a monetary issue? And how should the Bank of Ghana move to deal with the activities of speculators? Can an increase in the policy rate, which currently stands at 29%, be an option to deal with the current situation and help bring inflation rates down further? The meeting is expected to end this Friday with the announcement of a new policy rate on Monday. The rate is expected to impact the cost of credit in the country for the next 2 months. The Monetary Policy Committee will also give us an update on the state of the banking sector and Ghana's total debt stock.
In other news, the German Ministry for Economic Cooperation and Development and KfW Development Bank are supporting the creation of close to 2,000 job opportunities in the Ghanaian textile industry through the Investing for Employment facility. A grant agreement of 3.9 million euros was signed with Unij Limited for the construction of a center of excellence for garment manufacturing. Per the agreement, women and persons below 24 years will be prioritized for employment. Anaya Aljima witnessed the signing of the agreement and filed this report.
According to the signed agreement, an amount of 3.9 million euros will be used to complete the center. The international partners will contribute 73.4% of the investment, amounting 2.9 million euros, with the local partner, Unij Limited, covering over 1 million euros out of the total 1,977 new jobs to be created. Majority of trainees will take up opportunities in third-party textile factories. It is estimated 1,300 of the new employees will be women and around 2,000 persons will be younger than 24 years. Janet Abobigu is CEO of Unij Limited.
The industry don't have technical knowledge people. So now we are going to open, we are going to get a lot of training in it. So if somebody wants to open the factory, it will be easier for the person. So that we can also export to outside the world, especially America, because of AGUA.
Already, the foreign partners are anticipating the impacts of the investment on the Ghanaian economy. Managing Director of Investing for Employment, Stefan Cole, explains.
We are looking for much more than just jobs. It is an important aspect, admittedly, but we look for more than that. We look for ecosystems that will persist in the future for sustainability of those jobs.
Meanwhile, the wife of the Asantehene, Lady Julia Oseitutu, has applauded the collaboration. She highlights the role the center will play in the country's industrialization drive.
We train our youth for self-employment, and that is why a project like the Unij Center for Excellence and hostel facility for apparel and garments must be commended, encouraged, and supported. The importance of the skills that our youth will acquire at this center for themselves and also for nation building cannot be overemphasized. This center will focus on providing our younger generation with skills-based education and make them readily available for the job market.
For Joy News, Nana Yauchima reporting.
Commissioner for Innovation and Green Hydrogen at the German Federal Ministry of Education and Research, Till Mansmann, has expressed optimism that Ghana and many other African countries can achieve climate neutrality. In an interview with Joy Business, Mansmann stated that green hydrogen offers a more efficient energy solution capable of gradually phasing out fossil fuel use over time.
Germany is a key partner in the development of Ghana's renewable energy as the nation seeks to reduce the impact of climate change on its economy. However, the Commissioner for Innovation and Green Hydrogen at the German Federal Ministry of Education and Research, Till Mansmann, emphasized the significant benefit of green hydrogen.
The future of the global energy systems cannot work without molecules. So we need also green molecules in the energy systems of the future, because green molecules can be transported and stored in a very different way than just electrical energy, which is much more difficult to handle. So an all-electric world is not so much realistic. So we need the component of hydrogen and its derivatives, which are needed for the transformation and can be and are most efficient in the countries where the energy is available and cheap.
The Commissioner considers Ghana to be a formidable partner.
The aim of Germany is to be climate neutral by 2045. And on the same time, Germany knows exactly that we are an energy importing country, and we will also be in the future importing a lot of energy. So Germany is looking for partners worldwide for replacing fossil energy in a global scale. And especially Ghana is a good partner for us because in several ways we have partnerships with Ghana in education, in mathematics, and in different fields. And of course, we are very interested in making this cooperation towards energy more intensive.
The German-Ghana collaboration is aimed at achieving climate-neutral growth and effective climate protection worldwide.
Now, global media agency Cara has pledged its commitment to deliver cutting-edge solutions for brands looking for exceptional media and digital communication solutions. Having worked with global brands such as Coca-Cola, Microsoft, and MasterCard Foundation, and more, Cara hopes to redefine media campaigns to suit customer preference and achieve growth. Bithia Okwasante is General Manager for Cara. She has been speaking at a ceremony to mark the rebranding of Cara Global.
Cara is consistently ranked the #1 media agency in the world with over 12,000 experts in over 100 countries. Cara delivers an unparalleled capability to unlock real human understanding to connect people and brands by designing powerful and engaging media experiences. Cara is a member of the Dentsu Group, which operates in over 5 continents, pioneering and delivering the most effective brand, media, and digital communication solutions. Some of the global brands Cara has worked with include Coca-Cola, Heineken, Microsoft, MasterCard, and Vodafone, just to mention a few. Speaking to Joy Business at a ceremony to mark the rebranding and new direction for the global brand, Bithia Ewuku Asante sheds more light on the operations of Cara Ghana.
Cara is the biggest media brand under the Dentsu umbrella. We are in about 150 countries globally, very well represented in Africa, and in Ghana, arguably the largest or one of the largest agencies. Being obsessed with the consumer and their relationship with media is deep within the NDA, and that's our tagline. designing for people. So that's Cara for you.
She explains that the brand will offer improved services to clients.
We are promising enhanced and better services. Of course, dialing up our capabilities, our special talents that we don't joke about, new capabilities to help clients solve problems within this complex world of consumers and connectivity. Into the future, we'll maintain the momentum, more innovation within the network because it is a global network, but we are able to localize our services to suit the cultural nuances of our market. And therefore, what the space, you are going to see more. And it's only value that we promise to our clients.
Cara hopes to leverage technology and data analytics in building a total brand experience for clients.
As the first media agency in the world, we keep evolving because looking at the landscape of both the consumer and media, you have to be on top to continue to deliver excellent solutions to our clients. Within the years, we have been able to know the science and hearts of how consumers relate to data. What this reintroduction does for us is to dial up our capabilities, the talent that we have, and of course, show new capabilities that will help us partner our clients well in this evolving media and consumer ecosystem.
All right, time to talk tech on the marketplace. Joining me is lead for Eyes of Africa, Henry Kobler. We're going to be talking about the 3i Africa Summit that ended last week. It was a big event focusing on fintech and innovation. There was great anticipation ahead of the event on how this is going to affect the sector. And well, it's over. So let's discuss the outcomes. Henry Kobler live with me because he was participating as well. Henry, your impressions about this groundbreaking event we witnessed last week?
Thank you very much, Darren. So I think that we basically have witnessed one of the best organized summits if it comes down to the tech industry, especially in Ghana, and most amazingly being done by the regulators of the industry in collaboration with DBG and with a lot of support from Elevanti. And so Bank of Ghana relatively had put together this event and generally had brought together quite a number of fintechs. I mean, we had close to almost about 8,000 attendees coming through to the event, close to several, side events coming through, apart from the main plenary events that had happened during the event. And so if you're looking at the impact of the event on most of the fintechs that are coming, generally, with regards to the organization, I think it was perfect. With regards to the collaboration and networking abilities that happened at the event, I think that it basically opened quite a good doors to have direct conversations with regulators and players within the industry and say leaders of the industry and the ecosystem as well, because hardly do you get all of them coming together to have conversations, especially looking at emerging technologies and also being able to have collaborating effects coming through. But all in all, I think that my impression about the event was it was really organized well, and we're looking forward to having more of that coming in.
Yeah, I mean, there were discussions about regulation, about funding, about security. Tell us what your takeaways were from the event.
So generally, the very first thing is that having the regulator started to think future is a bit bigger for me. So having most of the discussions even heading within what fintechs could really have the ability to do, the funding opportunities for most fintech companies directly was very important for me as well. And again, being able to ink $100 million in terms to support small, medium scale businesses was also a very big one coming in from Proxtera, which is a Singapore company coming in to collaborate. And especially one of the best things I'd seen was the ECD being piloted at the event. Generally, those people had to be able to make payments to vendors and everything. There was a bigger collaboration, I think, between them and the ECD implementation team that had come through. And so generally, we're seeing that not being in theory, but also being in practical terms and being able to resonate with merchants that are coming across. And so I'm seeing that could definitely come in that regard, with seeing it being implemented across board. And again, I'm also seeing, in terms of my takeaway, I'm seeing quite a number of businesses also being able to think way ahead of not just a regular regulated elements, and also going into things as in blockchain technology, cryptocurrency technologies as well. It was groundbreaking for me, and I'm very happy to see the regulator really opening that space for discussions, and not just discussions as well, to be able to get people to sort of collaborate, bringing down the sandbox in and getting people to be able to, play within the sandbox and be able to be very compliant before they sort of put their product out is also very important for me. So all of these things coming together, I think that give me a bit of a headway to think that at least we're having the regulator come to understand tech and have a place in there for us.
And so where do we go from here? You know, usually with these events, there's plenty talk, and then we need real action. I mean, what's the way forward, do you think?
So yesterday, I saw a news that coming with ZPay being allowed outbound transfers, which is one of the most important things we've really been looking at. I mean, every time it's just been remittances into Ghana, and we've not had that leverage to be able to send money to the US, to UK, to Nigeria directly. Much of the conversation that happened was cross-border transactions, which was very important, and to have the regulator grant access to at least one of the most leading fintechs, I think that becomes quite the work of much of the talk that we've been doing. And so I'm looking at it as how we're going to play along. Much of the connections and collaborations that happened, being able to come into formal meetings and being put into books, and then we're looking at much of these positive news coming up. At least it gives a lot of people who are in the innovative space a bit of hope to realize that it's not far-fetched if you have to sort of play within the ecosystem. And so I think that there's been a lot of talk, there's been a lot of collaborations, but I think that away from this, there's going to be quite a number of teams that are also going to be set up to run most of the conversations, and again, to coming across to have most of them implemented.
Henry Kobler, great speaking with you, and belated happy birthday. I hope there's a party. Thank you so much. Henry Kobler, the lead for Eyes of Africa, speaking with us on Let's Talk Tech, and that's our program. Thanks for watching. More news on our website. More on the tanker drivers strike we've been reporting today, myjoyonline.com/business. We'll be back same time tomorrow.